Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages, but we are going to be focusing on this full moon in Scorpio. This is going to be covering the period from the 25th to the 30th. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to start out with the astrology while I'm pulling some tarot, just reflective of the full moon. Then I'm going to break it into relationship and then career/money. So I'm going to timestamp for relationship and money below in the description box. So if you don't want to hang out for the whole thing, or only watch part now and come back later for the other parts, however you want to do it. But I'm doing that just, depending on what you're here for. All right, so on the 26th, let's get into talking about this full moon energy. So on the 26th, we have this full moon on the fixed sign of Scorpio. So things are about to get pretty intense. We have the death energy because the lunar climax of the Taurus season happens to also be the first supermoon of the year, also known as the pink moon, and she is not playing around. This full moon on the 26th is going to make all of us, right, make our deepest secrets and vulnerabilities unavoidable, helping us to face the truth, our truth, right, as well as our own power and where we need to step into our power more. And this is going to be really hard hitting. So let's see how this will likely impact your sign, right? So we say to be forewarned is to be forearmed, but full moons, as they do, tend to illuminate situations for us. But Scorpio is a sign that values privacy. So right now, you may feel very inclined to actually share your own emotional epiphanies, your heartfelt realizations with the outside world, and that's okay. Do what you need to do to protect yourself, Taurus. I always say that. So besides the full moon sitting in this tense opposition to the sun, it is also forming a very confrontational opposition with the wild child Uranus right here. Look at this. So we have two center energies. Okay, we like the devil in reverse much better. So we have this wild child planet, Uranus, right, in opposition, right? Kind of in a face-off. When we have the opposition, it's this tension that's very necessary for us to look at. And this could bring about some sudden realizations for you. And dealing with this tension on top of all the full moon feelings may be a challenge, but it can also inspire us to think of things from a new perspective, or to help us to finally figure something out that we haven't been able to get in front of. So you really want to use this powerful energy to your ultimate advantage. So let's see more specifically how this might be impacting you, and let's see what the cards say. So we have the dice, we have Capricorn, we have Saturn, which rules Capricorn. So there's a lot of energy here having either to do with work or marriage, public reputation. And then we have the 6th house, which rules your day-to-day work environment. Now this particular, I'm going to talk about the houses highlighting here. It's 7th house, 1st house, 10th house, 3rd house. What the hell does all that mean? So let me just talk about that. Let me just pull a couple of these. We do have Venus. We have the 8th house. So Venus and 8th house. That's two relationship and money energies. Both of those, Venus and the 8th house, has to do with money and intimacy. And I feel like a lot of you are going to be dealing with both. Hold your vision, fixed moon. Okay. Hold your vision. You're good at doing that, Taurus. So let's just discuss, though, like what this means actually for you right now. So Taurus, you're realizing a lot about relationships right now. So use this energy to get real about the one-on-one dynamics that you share with others, whether it's marriage, business, even a close family connection, right? Because this full moon is happening in your 7th house, and the 7th house is that Libra is a landlord there, ruled by Venus. And it's really that Venus, that 7th house energy is really about, how do you feel in relationship? You feeling good about it, because surface level bonds aren't even going to scratch the surface for you here. It's just going to make you feel like wanting for more, right? Almost like this itch that you can't scratch, right? So don't be afraid to be really honest about your feelings and speak your truth. Your partnerships and your any sort of partnerships, right? Again, family, business, intimate are going to be a lot better for it. So again, we have this full moon happening in the 7th house for you, and it's opposing the sun, Uranus, Venus, and Mercury, all in Taurus, all in you, all in your 1st house of self. So right now it's all about you. So the sun, with the sun, first of all, whatever the house the sun is in, that's our big focus, right? So it's on you right now. So we have this stellium in there, right, with Uranus, Venus, and Mercury, but it's in this direct opposition to Uranus. And Uranus is all about surprises, shocking changes. It doesn't have to be shocking, sounds so dramatic, but it's changes that you really weren't expecting, maybe even now at the reading of this, or last week or a couple of weeks ago, where you're going to be realizing things. Things might be kind of dancing underneath the surface. You sort of feel something sort of coming up, but you can't quite put your finger on it. So there can be some sort of surprising change. And that first house itself, keeping it real, it deals with everything. Relationship, career, family situations, it's everything. Now that energy is going to be squaring Saturn in Aquarius in your 10th house of career and public reputation. And we also find like our status of marriage there, how we're known and known out in society, how we're known in work. So again, there's going to be this illumination here about, this tension about like, what do you really want? Really, what do you want? Now, what's good here is we're getting some help from a trine to Mars and Cancer in your 3rd house. So there's going to be this push for you to protect yourself through communication. 3rd house, what is it? Communication, business dealings, some sort of sibling situation. You might be pushing yourself, because that's a Cancer energy, to feel very protective, right? Very grounded, rooted, and safe and secure in that marriage, in that sibling connection, in that business deal, whatever it is. Your communication is going to be pretty decisive, which I like for you. So even though you're going through this in that 7th house, which can be challenging because it's a relationship house, I feel like you're going to have the words to figure out what it is that you're going to need. To have this Venus energy, again, Venus is that trifecta of love, doing something that you love, money, things you value, and then 3rd, your sense of self-respect and self-value. And how well do you feel your emotional needs being met in that relationship, in that business situation, whatever it is that you're looking to attain, right? Whatever that situation is it working for you? Let's pop over to the 8th house first before we go to that hold your vision fixed moon, because look, the 8th house is Scorpio energy, and this is what the full moon is in. Scorpio is the landlord of the 8th. This is all about transformation, but in an even more, pragmatic scope. This has to do with relationship and how you show up as a we in relationship. So your money versus your partner's money, your desire for intimacy versus your partner's desire for intimacy, how well you communicate versus how well your partner communicates. Okay, obviously like that. The same thing, minus the intimacy part, can have to do also with the business partner, obviously. But 8th house is also money that we get from work that we don't actually do ourselves. So it could be inheritance, insurance payout. The stock market is 8th house, any sort of investment, right? Anything that we do where we're getting money in that we didn't actually put our blood, sweat, and tears into. So we have this also working out here, right? But there always has to be this balance between these ideas. The 8th house could also be like, for example, the finalization of a settlement for a divorce, or the finalization on the sale of a home, the finalization on some sort of project, right? The negotiation happens in the 9th house, but the finances settling up happens in the 8th house. So it's all about holding your vision. Don't allow whatever's in your mind's eye, don't lose sight of it. Don't be like, all right, let me just, whatever kind of thing. Let me just not deal with this. I don't want to deal with, because Taurus energy really likes to feel good. You guys like to feel good. You just want to be like, look, I just want to hang, relax, eat a good meal, have a nice glass of wine, and just be at peace. You guys are ruled by Venus. You just want to listen to some good music, maybe read a good book. Again, eat some good food. Taurus rules the body. You want to feel good. You don't like stress, Taurus. You don't like it. Your body doesn't like it, right? All right. So Capricorn, Saturn, 6th house, right? Everything that we're kind of mentioning here. Capricorn is the landlord of the 10th house. It's about, first of all, there's a need for patience right now from you. But because Capricorn is that sea goat energy, very sort of patient, hardworking energy. And Saturn is all about patience, hard work. Right? You got to put that patience in. You're going to get the gift on the other side. But something is being presented to you right now energetically, Taurus, that you have to really be patient on, okay? And we have the 6th house has to do with your mental, physical, emotional health. It also has to do with your daily experience, including work. So I feel like right now you need to be very patient and hold your vision in this fixed moon, because your mental, physical, emotional health needs to be highly honored in this energy. Patience is going to pay off, and being super honest with yourself about what's not working. We have the death energy, another Scorpio energy, lots of scorpionic energies coming up here, right? So the death card, yeah, I mean, this does indicate something needing to be over, or at least is the way it was. There at least needs to be some sort of break from something if it's ever going to find its legs later. So maybe a break from some sort of work situation, relationship situation within a family. It doesn't have to be forever. It can just be, you know, to allow a little bit of breathing room for there to be a realization, right? This can indicate living circumstances changing because you realize that where you were living no longer meets your overall needs. Or this can also manifest as an offer to move somewhere that incites a new beginning for you, which would be a really good manifestation. But again, this could indicate like the possible ending of a business connection, some sort of job. Things will work out, even if in the short term it's uncomfortable. Same thing with relationship. Now we have the 3 of Wands in the reverse, and this is about delays and a lack of planning and some sort of setback, right? So that's why I'm feeling like whatever isn't working out right now, it's sort of very fated for it to not work out. We have the Devil energy in reverse, much better than in the upright, because at least the shackles are coming off in this energy, right? So this is about recovery, leaving an abusive situation, leaving a situation that was in some way toxic, going into something else that's better, leaving something that wasn't good for you, going towards something that is good for you. So all of this is really, really good, right? And then we have the Queen of Wands, you stepping into your power, ultimately ideas popping, you're going to have the strength to make whatever changes you need made. I really like this. It's because what I like about this the most is that there's a sense of self-awareness. And isn't that always a gift, right? There's always such a gift in that. And I feel like this is where this comes in with this Mars and Cancer trining this full moon for you. You're just going to be very, again, as I mentioned before, not to be repetitive, but very decisive in your communication, which is going to end up going well for you, Taurus. So really good there. All right, so let's scoot these guys out of the way. And let's get into relationship. So let's pull for whatever comes up in relationship. I don't know. We'll see what comes up. You could be complicated. You can be blissfully together. Let's see the first energy, cycles. So you're experiencing some sort of cycle. Let's see. Good, better, and different. Let's see what else we get. Let's pull Island Time Wellness. So that's a Healing Yourself Oracle. I'm so bad at giving you guys the names of my cards. I'm so sorry. I know a lot of you reach out like, could you please put the name of your cards? I'm like, all right, I really have to start doing that. I'm so sorry. Twin Flames, Yin Yang, Zen, Balance, Coupling, complementing each other. Let's pull one more. Chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues. Okay, so there might be a little something challenging going on with somebody here. Let's see. Cycles, twin flames. Oh, you know what? This isn't that always the case with the twin flame thing. You know, because there still have to be lessons learned, right? There have to be lessons learned. It wouldn't be a good relationship if that wasn't the case. The heart of the matter, there's more going on here than meets the eye, Taurus. I bet you there is. No question. Yeah, only because we have this full moon in Scorpio, right? And so because it's in the 7th house, and you're going to feel very like, I don't want to share everything that I'm feeling kind of thing, right? This could definitely be also at play. Let me just pull a hard oracle, and then I'll pull, we'll do a Celtic cross spread. Let's just pull one more, and then we could see how we can work these in throughout the reading. Freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Right? Should we feel like that anyway in relationships, should we not? We shouldn't feel too shackled in a situation. That's the devil energy. Freedom. Cycles. Twin flames, the chaser. Some of you might be on this perch where you're like, I'm not sure which side of the fence I want to be on right now. Do I want to be in this relationship or not? Kind of just maybe not being 100% sure. Or just not being sure maybe how your partner feels, you know, where you know how you feel, but you might not be totally sure how they feel. We have Page of Wands. It's being crossed by the Ace of Swords. Chariot energy. Two of Cups. High Priestess. Near future is the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. King of Swords. Reverse right now. Okay. All right. So coming into this energy, we have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is an energy of intuitiveness, right? Some of you may be single, or you and your partner are keeping a part of your life secret from others in your life, where you're actively working on something and you're just kind of not telling anybody. It could be that. But it's like this thing that's going on inside of you. Because this is connected to the moon, right? It's also justice and judgment, though, in numerology. So it's just dealing with the past, ideas of the past, really trying to get into your feels about what's fair, what's not fair, right? And that moon energy really does rule what kind of lingers beneath the surface, right? You just want to make sure that you're not telling yourself any sort of false narratives about what's going on. You want to make sure that you're staying very grounded in the reality of a situation, and not creating any sort of narrative that might be going on that's based more in fear. Not that you are not being honest with yourself, but it might be fear talking, right? Fear talking. But I don't see you really. There's a kind of quietness. It's almost like a shh, don't tell anybody kind of energy here, either about what you're feeling, what they're feeling, or what you're feeling, they're feeling. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me, but I don't know if it makes sense to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're vibing that your partner or somebody might be feeling something, but you're not really talking about it. And then we have the Page of Wands here. So the Page of Wands is really good energy, good news, right? This is a very busy time. It's a very motivated time. It's very passionate, right? This is a personification of fire, right? But you know, the thing is, when we get this for a relationship, this is the thing. A relationship may seem pretty good, right? But the idea of it is actually better than how it's manifesting in reality. Does that make sense? Where it's in theory, the relationship makes sense. It looks great on paper, but when it comes to how well you guys connect, you may feel like there's a little something missing. And you're not sure what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you don't have feelings for them or them for you. If you're single, you might be really sort of enamored by the idea of being in a relationship, but then when you're actually in the relationship and you're feeling all the responsibilities, you're like, I don't know if I really want that, or it could be you're feeling a certain way and you're just not sure if your partner feels the same way. You're just having a hard time evaluating, right, the emotions here. And this is being crossed and challenged here. Let's just say cross. That really doesn't have to be a challenge. The Ace of Swords energy. Now, this could be this energy of getting over past obstacles and really getting what you want and thoughts becoming things. So this is very much what it is that you want, right? Focusing on this, come on, let's go, right? This fire, this motivation, this passion, let's go. But don't be surprised if you feel this certain thing where there's something, I can't say it any other way, there's something lingering underneath the surface here. I'm feeling very strongly, Taurus, that you're not sure if it's quite right, whether it's how you feel, whether it's how they feel, right? I don't know who I'm talking to, so I'm just speaking to Taurus. This is general, the archetype of Taurus here. So we have the Chariot energy as the crowning and the best to be achieved. The relationship situation is expedited. So if the card's leading around it, let's pull another card. If they're positive, then you're going to be moving away from negative, any sort of like negative energy towards positive, right? And if the cards surrounding it are a little challenging, then the relationship is likely ending because it's ultimately not good for you. So why don't we just pull an extra card here. We have the King of Wands in the reverse. King of Wands in reverse, there could be some sort of like bullying going on here. There could be some sort of sexual problem here too. Either somebody is, obviously I don't have to explain that to you, but there can be very many variations of that going on within a relationship. It could also manifest as not being quite ready for something, right? There being this element of weakness. And then we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, so this is somebody who doesn't have a lot of follow through. All right, so I do feel like there's going to be this moving away. I have to tell you, I feel like there's going to be a moving away from... So this is going to need addressing here, no question. Because in the upright, these are good cards, but in the reverse, there's a challenge here in looking at them. And I always say the reversals can always be energetically turned around through healthy communication. So it does seem like there's some sort of delay. Somebody's not 100% on board with you in the way that you think they are, and that needs communicating. As we have as a foundation right now, the Two of Cups energy. And the Two of Cups is a nice energy. It's mutually supportive. It's relationship energy, obviously. For some of you, this is a new relationship, a new passion if you're unattached. This is a positive proposal if things are difficult, harmony returning, very nurturing relationship. So some of you, if you're in a weird space, or maybe you and someone ended things, they just kind of can't get out of their own way, you meeting somebody else. This could also indicate if you're in a relationship, the communication really needs to happen in order for this Two of Cups to happen. So what's getting in the way here? You know, who needs to have their own way? Is there a sexual problem that needs addressing? Is somebody feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, kind of thing, which, you know, AKA fear of intimacy, you know. But you and only you right now, we have the King of Swords in the reverse. And this is the energy of somebody who maybe is in a space of not being fully honest right now. Now, this could also be somebody who is, you know, kind of abusive with their words. It can mean that. It can mean manipulation. But if we understand that the swords are communication and truth, right? That's what it is. That's what swords are, right? I mean, it's Capricorn and Aquarius energy. Aquarius is an air energy. And it's all about, you know, having these conversations to move into the future, right? Following the mind rather than the heart. Some of you may be in a space where you're not disclosing everything. You're not disclosing everything. You're feeling a lot more with your heart, and you're not sure what you feel about it. And you know you should be working more from the mind, right? And staying in the practical, but you can't help how you're feeling. And so you might be holding back. You know, I'm just saying this, especially because we get the High Priestess energy. We have some energies that do indicate that there's something that you're feeling. It's almost like there's this vat or this vastness that's happening internal to you, and you're really not fully expressing everything to the outside. Now, the energy that's external to you, that's impacting you, we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. And the Four of Swords in reverse does indicate a restlessness and an anxiety, but it's because there's this energy where, come on, let's go. I can't do this anymore, kind of thing, right? It's almost like a burnout kind of energy, but it's this restlessness and this anxiety and this feeling like somebody is ready to act. So you may be dealing with somebody in a relationship that's just like either very restless and they can't settle down long enough to really look at themselves. Is very sort of restless, all over the place anxiety. Some of you may be, okay, that's for some of you. Others of you may be dealing with somebody like, all right, already, I've waited long enough. This could also just be the energy that's surrounding you, where you're just in this space where you're like, I've waited long, like, what are we doing? Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. That could definitely be the energy that's surrounding you as well. Now, if somebody is dragging their feet, Taurus, right, up here, you could be in this space where you're like, I really am not sure if this is ever even gonna like happen. And you're saying, all right, look, are we gonna do this or are we not gonna do it? Kind of thing. Now we have in the challenge here is the Three of Swords in the reverse. And this is a block for you, right? So this is about apologies and recovery after loss and healing, right? Now, some of you may literally be physically healing if you had some sort of procedure, and that's sort of, you know, trumping the situation here. But for others of you, this could just be about there being this block, maybe you having a hard time accepting an apology, a hard time giving an apology, a hard time recovering from a loss that you had in the past, where you're in this space where you really kind of want to get into this new Two of Cups energy because somebody can't get out of their own way, and you're just sort of being in this space where it's like, all right, I'm feeling kind of restless. I need to do something different, but you might be having a hard time doing that and bringing that different to yourself. We have in the near future the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, and this is about giving up too soon on something and not putting enough work into something. So just make sure that either you or the person that you're dealing with, you're doing what you need to do in order to make a relationship work. If you happen to be single, this shows me like you're just like, oh, the hell with it. Let me just stay single for another 6 months. I don't want to deal with it now. But you know what? Nothing wrong with that. If you've been through a lot and you're just sort of in between things, something didn't work out, and maybe you feel like you're making yourself try to get into another relationship, even if somebody who's knocking on your door is pretty intriguing. If you're not ready, you're not ready, Only you're going to know that. But I do feel like some of you are waiting for somebody to contact you, Two of Wands can indicate that. It can. But this can also indicate a new romantic partnership, maybe meeting somebody through like work or friends. Definitely a good energy though, but there are two aspects of a situation and you have to figure out which is the best for you. Remember, this is a Mars and Aries energy. So this is about making plans and moving forward. This does indicate partnership. So, what is it that you're going to do? You're going to go down this road? Or are you going to go down that road? Are you going to wait for this person? Or are you going to go on this new path? Like, what are you going to do? I definitely, Taurus, I feel like, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, I feel like some of you are dealing with this energy where something, for some of you, okay, I'm definitely getting two different messages. For some of you, something didn't work out in the past and you may be in another relationship, but you're in this space where it's like, I need to get that person off my soul. I have to get that residue off my energy so that I could focus on this relationship. So some of you are going to be resonating with it like that. Others of you, you're in this space. You guys are twin flame energies, right? You wanna understand there is the heart of the matter. There is more going on than meets the eye. There is some sort of cycle. Here we go again, kind of energy. Dealing with this codependent fear of abandonment issues, that does definitely incite some sort of cyclical energy as well. You feel like you're meant to be together, but it's like on again, off again, on again, off again, and there's not complete transparency here. You're just going to be very, very focused on trying to figure out what that means for you. You really are. I mean, with the full moon in Scorpio, you're going to be very focused on what that means for you. But again, there is an energy here that really is not really wanting to look at themselves. Taurus is what I see. Or it might be you. We have to be fair here about the enmeshed energies. But that's what I see for relationships just for this week. It's the 25th through the 30th, last week of April. We'll see what happens next week. But this is what I see right now. A kind of like some confusion is going to be coming up for you in this area of partnership when it comes to this moon. I really do see that for you. So it's all for something. It's not for nothing. It's not to just aggravate you, right? It's all for something. All right, so we pull Oracle. We pull a couple of these for work, career, financial situation, whatever we have going on in that realm. Co-create, very good. New life, awesome. Let's pull one more. And mending, awesome. All right, so there's got to be some sort of healing for you having to do with some sort of financial situation. It can be within yourself, right? You could be experiencing a sense of self-doubt, not feeling very good about yourself. I know a lot of Tauruses were just being very challenged in their work this year. I don't know what else is in your chart, right? So I'm just talking to the archetype of Taurus. Obviously depends on what's on your 10th house, what your rising sign is, what's on your 6th house, all that stuff. But we have the idea of co-create, new life, and mending. Excellent. Co-create is about being in business with somebody, working along with other people to make something happen. Co-create could also just mean co-create could even be like you joining some sort of like social media thing, and Two, let's just think. I mean, we have this trine to Mars in Cancer, which is happening in your third house. I really like that. Third house is that online communication kind of thing going on. We have this in this tension, the full moon in tension with Uranus. Uranus rules technology, and it's happening in your first house itself. So it could even be something like that. Creating with a community, but whatever it is, there's new. Whether it's that you're working somewhere new, co-create could be you're hiring a new lawyer so that you can sue that person to go through some sort of mending, whether it's a family situation, marriage, insurance thing, whatever. Could have to do with inheritance, could have to do with any kind of investment. Okay. All right, so let's see what shows up with the cards. The Celtic cross spread for you. So we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse, King of Cups in the upright. Okay. Oh, you know what? There's a lot of communication towards resolve going on here, Taurus, for sure. Yeah. Okay, something not working out that wasn't meant for you. So we have the Hermit energy, all about problem solving. The Hermit is Virgo, 6th house. So it's about being very introspective, going within, success in a position through which you can make more money. Lots of problem solving. You're getting a lot of deserved acknowledgement. Really good. Coming into this energy. So I like that. I mean, you're just sort of in that space, setting your ducks up in a row to be able to move yourself forward in a really good way. So the situation first we have right here is the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands in reverse does indicate plans stalling out, quitting. You may have quit your job very literally, okay? But things just not going well, right? There being maybe you experiencing a situation where there were very weak boundaries with a person, some sort of situation like that. And that probably ended up causing some sort of conflict, right? Because the King of Cups indicates that a need exists, right? To settle a conflict either within yourself or with somebody else. And, that has to be done. So we have this working with the crowning energy. Beautiful Nine of Cups is about wish fulfillment and really being able to manifest what it is that you want and that you see in your mind's eye, right? I mean, this is about old tensions that have been building up, having to do with money or whatever financial situation this is. It ends up being dissolved, right? And just kind of like absorbed into the past, and you feeling a lot more connected to your heart, right? Really being able to feel like, yeah, this is the right thing. I feel good about this, whatever it is. You ultimately feeling good about it. We have the foundation, the Five of Wands in reverse, which is beautiful. This is about harmony and success and solving problems. So really good energy there. We have in your position the Seven of Pentacles in the upright. Seven of Pentacles in the upright is about hard work, really. Just putting in some hard work, having to pay off, being successful. Whatever your situation is, don't give up. You're almost there. This could be a little bit of like a monotonous energy, though. It's like, oh, come on already. When is this going to stop? Or when can I enjoy the fruits of my labor? Or when can I just breathe, right? You're almost there, right? I always say with this energy, your future self will thank you. Now, the external energy that you're dealing with is a Page of Swords in reverse. So the Page of Swords in reverse is somebody who's rather weak in their constitution. This could indicate bad news. This could indicate some sort of legal issue, some sort of tax issue that's impacting you. So, for example, like let's say you might be dealing with a very challenging energy or a challenging situation having to do with a lawsuit. Don't give up. You might be dealing with somebody who's very immature and weak within the workplace. Don't give up. Somebody who's not being totally transparent with you. But you're going to be vibing it. And that's why it's going to be like, oh, how much more of this do I have to deal with? It's almost like an energy of something being protracted out. Now, in your challenge energy, we have the Chariot in the reverse. The Chariot in reverse is about giving up and losing, but this is in your challenge in your block position. So we have this idea of giving up, making some poor choices, losing direction, kind of getting off the right path. This could also indicate travel issues. If some of you are needing to travel for something, that could be getting in your way. But there is this idea of now you don't have to be the one who's off the right path This could be somebody else being like, you'd be sitting there, Taurus, and you're like, what the hell are they thinking? What are they doing? You're just being like, I can't mitigate this because it's not my stuff to mitigate. You know what I mean? Whether it has to do with a work situation, anything having to do with money. So fill in the blank with that. We have in the near future the Four of Pentacles in the reverse, which is about bankruptcy, poverty mindset, not poverty, but poverty mindset, right? Just being super vulnerable, having to do with something. So you being almost like, feeling like, in a way, somebody almost, or at least they think they have you over a barrel. But you're, listen, we have this squaring, the full moon is going to be squaring Saturn and Aquarius in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So I'm not going to be surprised if somebody is giving you a little bit of a challenge here, or a lot of bit of a challenge, right? And you're in this space where, it's just you're standing. So again, this could even have to do with like inheritance. This could have to do with something that you feel that you're owed. And we have the Tower energy. Now, the Tower is just really about, first of all, the numerology link to this is the Chariot. It's moving away from something that's really toxic. And it's destruction and enlightenment and a necessary surrender here, right? So there's a restructuring in business, a possible complete change in circumstances. A person or in a position of power needs to make a really tough decision. Someone in charge might be let go from their role. So, for example, if you're dealing with like, let's say like an estate, right? If you're dealing with some sort of inheritance, like the executor saying, something going on with them, and them being released from something, and that changing the whole dynamic of the situation. Basically what it is, though, if you can look at it from this point, is there's got to be like a way of relating regarding whatever money situation this is has to change. The way it's been up to this point can't continue, so it needs to change. There's been something very unhealthy with the way. See, sometimes the Tower is very positive, something very unhealthy that you kind of knew was sort of, you might be sitting there saying, oh, no kidding, this happened, right? Because there were red flags. There are always red flags with the Tower. The Tower is Mars energy. Mars always gives us the red flags. And when we choose not to act on it, or when we feel like we can't act on it, right? If it's somebody else's issues, something's going to come tumbling down inevitably, right? And so the way this situation was being handled up to this point, having to do with, again, career, settlement, payout, whatever it is, can't continue. So something changing, right? So that a new approach can be had. So that makes sense to me, because we have this co-create. You're going to be working with people to do this. Ultimately, there's going to end up being healing, and ultimately it's going to end up leading you to a new life. So if there's any sort of like toxic person in the midst here, it looks like Spirit's going to do her thing there with this person, and it's going to be taken care of. So pretty specific message. If it's not resonating with you, please don't try to make it fit. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. And I will see you guys next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.